Hello and welcome to the Quite Drafty Podcast. I'm Pex, and joining me this week, as always, he's spoopy, it's Jay.
Hello.
It's scary, it's Ollie.
Hello.
And it's Sef. There we go. That's the greeting to the podcast.
The sound of my
I've
fear.
definitely peaked doing that.
That's okay. That's what compression's for. Kind of.
So I believe this week's episode was chosen for us by Ollie.
Hi. Yeah, I did choose this one. We're doing horror movie monsters. I may have said we were doing 6 last episode, but I lied. We're actually doing a draft of 4.
I don't even know if you did say 6 last time, but who knows?
I think I might have said 6. But yeah, I want to see some creatures. I want to see some ghoulies. I want to see some ooly ghoulies. It's going to be great.
You can't
don't wanna see
open
your
a
ganglies.
podcast saying you want to see some ghoulies. I'm sorry. You just can't.
Hey now. Just
No,
because
no,
I forget what words are also associated with sometimes.
Look, Ollie
Please.
wants to see your ghoulies. Ollie wants to grab your ghoulies. Ollie just wants the ghoulies.
It's a dangerous time to take a sip, Ollie.
It was a dangerous time to take a sip. I have regrets.
This is the energy.
This is always going to be the energy. Come on.
Yep, this
You
is
know
what
who we
we've
are.
got for this week. So obviously, before we can start drafting, we need to shuffle the board. Originally starting in Jop's order, that's Jay, Ollie, Pex and Sef. How many times do I need to hit the shuffle button?
13 is unlucky and spooky, no?
Ooh,
13.
that's a good one, Seth.
The unlucky spooky number. So let's hit that button 13
Perfect for
times.
this
1, 2, 3,
Halloween
4, 5, 6,
episode.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, Halloween
Sef, Ollie,
episode.
Pex, Jay. 11, 12. Ollie, Pex, Sef, Jay. Number
Please.
13.
Please.
Sef, Pex, Jay, Ollie.
We're back to the ultimate number of Seth is the first one to go and I'm the last
Unlucky
one
for
to
some,
go.
but I feel like that might take the edge off how ridiculous my board's going to look. So,
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping that somebody who maybe has a bit more background in horror movies might go first. I've taken a very liberal interpretation of our draft here. Horror movie monsters. I limited myself purely to movies. I've gone with things that are horrific and that I will argue are monsters. And so I'm starting with Edward from Twilight. Now, hear me out. Twilight is a horror movie. Okay? It's pretty horrific. There's a lot of bad stuff happens, okay? They guise it as being, like, romantic, but Edward stalks Bella the whole movie. He shows up in her house while she is sleeping and watches her. That is not normal behavior. He is technically a monster. He is a vampire. Now, he would tell you himself that he is a monster. I feel like
that is
I've
actually
set
a
this
strong
up.
point.
Okay? What
That's
makes a
beautiful,
horror
but-
movie a horror movie? It gives you a deep feeling of unease, which Edward from Twilight does.
I mean, it gives you a deep feeling of unease. All
are
those
you
monster
also
fuckers out there are
using
having
the
a great
Google
time.
AI definition here, Seth?
I can't say that I am, but I would not be surprised if it agreed with me.
But it doesn't, my sweet summer child.
I feel
Speaking
like-
of flexing muscles and warming up to something, it's time to rules lawyer.
Oh, God.
According
Excellent.
to Google and IMDb and a number of other platforms, the Twilight franchise is considered, and I quote, a romance, fantasy, and teen drama.
Okay.
At no
Yeah.
point is horror mentioned in the genre of the Twilight franchise.
In which case, it's the people who are wrong. Okay? Look, if you want to talk about the real horrors of existence, right? The deep, true horrors to be perceived when you do not wish to be, Edward ticks that box, right? Mortality. Tell me that Twilight doesn't confront that narrative, okay? Is there
Bella is
death and
literally,
destruction in it? Yes, also.
Like, begging, screaming to be killed. She's so into it.
right,
She's like,
right, right.
please, you need to make me a vampire. Please, I just want to die. Please.
If we're going to talk about the saga as a whole, you cannot deny that there are horrific elements to this saga. The birth, you're telling me that's not horrific?
Oh, okay, no, you're right, actually.
right.
I take it back.
do I think maybe it could be more traditional horror if they put a spooky like piano, creaking doors and stuff in it? Sure, but this is avant-garde horror. It sticks in your brain like no other horror media does. Okay.
Never have I heard the sentence, I don't watch horrors, but you know what? I'll watch that Twilight. It's just not something that people say. They'll say like, oh, I don't like horror, but I'll watch Shaun of the Dead. Or I don't like horror, but I'll watch, I don't know, Tweenies.
So
but like,
here's the thing, Jay. Like, I know I'm not one to make much of an argument about movies, but what I would say is movies can fit multiple categories at the same time. So like when we were doing the Christmas movies draft, you were arguing for things like Gremlins is not a Christmas movie.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up.
Gremlins
Because
is a Christmas
happened?
movie and it fits other genres
Can we throw
of
our
film.
attention back to that pod? What happened when I tried to say that Gremlins wasn't a Christmas movie? Can
It got
you remind
counted
me,
as a
my dear
Christmas
Pex?
movie.
It got counted as a Christmas movie because it is a Christmas movie.
And it was vetoed. I completely agree with this assessment, as bitter as I still am about it. Therefore, by your own logic, does that not mean that Twilight is in fact a romance fantasy teen
Now,
drama?
Jay, I'm a bit scared of your answer
because
to this question.
it can be more than one genre at the same time.
I'm a bit scared of your answer to my question I'm about to ask, Jay, but imagine yourself in a dark city at night. You go down an alleyway and you see Edward. Is this not a horrifying situation?
Yeah, the answer to that question could go in so many directions.
It
I mean,
certainly
you know
can.
what today's
You
youth
know.
are like? Do you know what they're reading, Seth?
I know what they're reading. I've read Akatar. I've read Twilight. I know what's up with you guys. I know. I'm watching you, Book Talk. I'm watching you.
I mean, side
Careful.
note, we could totally talk about Akatar sometime.
I think I'm going to have to leap to Seth's defence here, not only for Seth's benefit, but definitely for mine coming up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I appreciate I've already done the Google AI bit, and I read through Google AI's bits and bobs, and Seth does have some points about, supernatural menacing elements, that kind of thing being an important part of horror movies. But I realised, you guys weren't entirely satisfied with my Google AI definitions before, so I did the thing you do after you check Google AI, which is I went to Reddit. On Reddit, in the r/horror subreddit, 8 years ago, they posted concepts in horror, what defines a horror movie. And I am going to bow to the supreme knowledge of Nobby67, who said, I think horror is a catch-all. Technically, there is a whole series of different types of movies we artificially link to make up horror. We can define subgenres, but when we use the umbrella of horror, it becomes an artificial and argumentative construct. And Dingus McGinty says, oh man, definitely. So therefore, I believe Seth's absolutely in the right that this also falls under that overall umbrella of horror movie.
I've got at least 3 people on my side.
Okay, as my closing argument, if we are in fact providing references that's going to be on the paper published after today's podcast, I would like to submit to the court from r/Twilight 5 years ago a debate. Do you consider Twilight fantasy horror or supernatural horror, thriller, or just horror in general? And at the very least, the first 5 people who commented have all said, yeah, but it's not horror.
Right, but there's also
are
people
any
who
of
get
those
off
people
on like
Nobby
bloody
67
violent
or
stuff,
Dingus
right?
McGinty?
That doesn't mean that I should listen to what they have to say,
Either way, I have cast my vote. I know I'm about to be outvoted, but God, was that fun.
I'm
a good
saying I'm in
argument.
favour of this pick.
Obviously I'm in favour, but
I like to be
I
problematic.
think I'm also going to be in favour of this pick, just because I do get feelings of dread and disgust and fear when I watch the Twilight movies. So that counts as a horror, I think.
I do want it noted for the
as you
record that I
will.
do quite enjoy the Twilight movies, but that's kind of like not the point. You can enjoy
Oh yeah, no,
horror,
I do enjoy them, but it's also like incredibly cringeworthy.
It is a bit like
because-
watching a car crash.
Yeah, like really slow motion. It's great.
Because I suspect that this argument is going to kind of carry on throughout the entirety of this, are we happy to go with like feelings of unease as a sort of broad definition of something that would categorize as a horror movie, because otherwise I don't have a clue what this genre is.
I'd say maybe unease and dread.
Unease and dread. Okay. So
Dear Lord.
I am going to put a picture into the WhatsApp.
And you're going to ask us whether we feel unease and dread? Is that...
So I am going to show you a picture of the horror movie monster that I want to pick next, which is
Pex, why have you put a picture, my profile picture in the WhatsApp? That's just really rude.
Hex, come on.
So
No.
I want to pick Matthias of Akkad from The Mummy Returns, because that makes me feel uneasy. The scorpion transformation is the creepiest, weirdest thing. No, that's horrifying. That's horror.
I was truly horrified by this pick.
I'm fully doubling down with Pex here. The first time I ever watched the Mummy movie, I was too young, and the scarab under the skin scene made me actually have nightmares for like weeks afterwards. It was great.
I think that's also a good thing to link into our definition of horror. It's like, if it gives you nightmares, I think that's a strong supporting evidence.
Yeah. Also, the ants. I can't remember which movie that was, but where there was a tide of like flesh-eating beetles or something. Absolutely. I can't remember how old I was, but enjoying horror movies is definitely more of a recent thing. And when I was younger, I was scared of
Ollie.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It was great.
I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm pretty sure the ants was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Was it? What the?
Yeah.
What the hell? One sec. Wait. Ants, Kingdom of
Well,
Crystal
either
Skull.
way, that's definitely horrifying. Like, I'm definitely in on this one.
Oh my god, it was.
Pex, let's put it this way, I'm going to be in your corner for the remainder of the episode.
I think we may be in each other's corner for this
I
one.
was about to say,
Strength
Seth,
in numbers.
you're on his side, mayhaps?
I'm on your
You know what,
side, Pex. I'm on your
I
side.
will say I'm not totally opposed to this one, only because
You're less
thinking
opposed to
about
this
it-
than Twilight. Okay, all right.
no. But
So
hear me out.
I'm just trying to understand your head space.
The first Mummy movie, I'm pretty sure, was intended to be a horror, and even though, as we all know, it's now become the wonderful bi icon that it is, because no matter who you look at, damn.
Yeah.
But
I subscribe to a bit of death of the
Yeah.
author kind of a thing going on here. But really, I'm not so fussed about the artistic intent. I feel like a fair few movies maybe weren't intended to be horror, but they are. Let's just keep that on the back burner.
should we
Okay.
call this the slightly spooky draft, or the
Like,
this is the nervous?
This is
the horror movie monsters
horror
draft. We're
movie
drafting monsters
monsters.
from horror movies. What are you on about?
But they're not horror films.
It doesn't say horror films.
We're about to lose our horror film fan base.
I'm sorry to
okay,
say
I'm
it,
sure
but
you and I
Nobby
can bring it back.
67 backs me up on this one.
Thank the Lord for Nobby 67.
And there's nobody else. Like, Nobby 67 and Dingus McGinty are here to give us the way.
The only two people whose, horror movie opinions we need to listen to.
Indeed.
Well, I suppose this means it's my turn. And I would like to reassure our listeners that every single movie on my list is in fact a horror, has always been a horror.
Yeah,
actually,
me too.
that's not technically
Yeah,
true.
mine too.
Oh dear. Well, let's do this. I guess some of you might interpret my rules lawyering as being a little bit on the schnicky side. So my first pick is Anaconda from Anaconda. For anyone who's not aware, big snack. And it's a film. Oh, who's in it again? It's J-Lo. It's oh gosh, what's his name? It's not
Jack
Ice-T.
Black?
It's the other Ice.
No, that's the remake.
No, Jack Black is the remake, but he inspired kind of me thinking, oh, who was in the first one, and it was a great
Danny
horror film.
Trejo, Owen Wilson, Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez,
That's it.
Jon Voight,
Oh wow.
Eric Stoltz.
But I had no idea until watching Anaconda that this did spawn an almost Sharknado-like franchise. There are multiple Anaconda films. I've only ever seen the first one. But oh my god, what a film.
Oh, I haven't watched
I'm
this.
willing
I
bet
need
that
to
this
watch this.
Anaconda
This looks
don't want
incredible.
none. Unless
This is pretty cool. It looks like it's another multi-genre film like
please.
mine and Seth's are. So it's an
It's a
action adventure
multi-genre
horror.
film. It's a horror. People
So it
die by
says it's an
snack.
action adventure horror film, so it's a multi-genre film.
At least
just
horror
like
is in
Twilight
my
is a
mix.
romantic drama horror film. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are literally so many of these franchise films. That's
What I love
incredible.
is if you go
There's
on to Amazon
so
Video,
many.
you have to pay to watch any of the actual Anaconda films, including the newest comedy version. But they have like one of those like off-brand Temu versions of the movie, which was an Amazon original, and you can watch that one with your subscription. It's probably rubbish,
Amazing.
but the fact that it exists just really warms my heart that the franchise got that far enough to have just a flunk version of the movie.
It warms
Beautiful.
your cockles.
They've also
It
got
does.
a crossover with a different large, like, lake/river creature, Lake Placid, which is about big crocodile. They did a crossover, like King Kong versus
Is it called Big Croc?
Godzilla. It's called Lake Placid versus Anaconda in the same style of King Kong versus Godzilla.
Can I say, do you really want to link Anaconda and Big Croc? Freud is over there having a field day.
Freud's always having a field day. Come
Well,
on.
before we slip any further, Ollie, what's your first round pick?
So my first round pick, which I'm quite frankly shocked hasn't already been taken, is of course The Thing from the movie The Thing, the 1982 version, which is the John Carpenter version, which is the ickiest, gooeyest monster on my list. It's just awful to look at anytime. And also The Thing is one of my favourite horror movies, not because it's like the scariest thing you've ever watched, but because the sense of dread that it instills is incredible. But
Looking
yeah,
at pictures,
has anybody
it's
else
pretty horrific.
in this room watched The Thing, please?
The Thing is amazing. I've seen the original and the remake. The original
Oh,
is definitely
yeah.
better than the remake, and I say this as somebody who I'm pretty agnostic about originals versus remakes in general. It's not something that I'm super picky about, but there's something about the way that it was all done with models rather than CGI that is just charming.
All practical effects, and it's all covered in goo. They were like, let's do puppets and let's make them wet puppets, and it works so well. It's so viscerally like awful to look at. And the
Let's
scene,
make them wet puppets.
no, you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. My favorite genre of horror is wet puppets, because they are genuinely the most awful to look at, because they hold up so well today.
Bet you
'Cause
loved The Shape of Water.
I did enjoy The Shape of Water, but it was quite strange. It was more of like a okay rather than a and I prefer the
I do like, by the way, that in our first round we have 2 returnees to the pod. I mean, between the Scorpion King and the Thing, these are some nice callbacks.
coming
Hey,
back
what
round
can I
again.
say? We're now old enough to do callbacks to previous episodes.
Do you feel
We're
the
winning.
nostalgia? It's nice.
I know, I feel the nostalgia for what, like 10 episodes ago?
May as well have been a lifetime ago, Pex.
I know, so long.
For my second pick, I'm going to continue my theme so far of wet puppets with Seth Brundle, aka Brundlefly from the movie The Fly, which the first time I watched this movie, there is a specific scene in which he like squidges off his fingernails, and it made me almost actually throw up because it's so gross. But another like fantastic movie that like horrifying through concept and also visuals simultaneously. So,
Is
incredible,
this another
wonderful.
wet puppet film?
It's another wet puppet film, and this puppet is so wet and
Is your board theme
goopy.
for this week wet puppets?
It may be wet puppets.
Right,
Look,
so
they're
what-
Next round, I am going to be drafting Sooty in a water park.
Not before I can do the
Dread.
cast of Avenue Q doing the car wash. And yes, this is a white t-shirt car wash for all of you puppet fans.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, I just have an image of Kermit in a Speedo.
How do you feel about that, Seth?
Oddly aroused. No.
Let's not get Freud back involved in this one.
Freud is always watching.
Freud is always watching. No, save us from the Muppets wet t-shirt contest, please, Jay.
So, I'm going to put a trigger warning on this one because I feel like of all of the phobias out there, this is the one that I've encountered the most out in the wild. So, if anybody has arachnophobia, this would be a good one to maybe skip a minute because I am talking about the hairy, the eight-legged, the multiple eyes and pincered spider. Specifically referencing the film Eight-Legged Freak, where they are giant spiders.
I can't believe I'm having to Google this. Here we go.
Ooh.
Let's get real uncomfortable.
Hopefully, if it's the picture that used to be on the back of the DVD box, what you'll find is somebody sat in an armchair with a giant spider behind them, like crawling over the armchair.
What was the name of the film?
Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yikes. Are yours all
Yeah.
going to be animals today, Jay? Have you got Jaws lined up?
You know what? I really tried to make them all animals. That was the intent of my theme, and I'm actually a little bit ashamed that I didn't have Jaws on my list. There is one on my list
is a
that
horror?
is still with nature. Jaws is a horror.
Charles
Pex,
is a
don't
horror.
do this.
Jaws
Don't
is the
open the
original
door.
horror. But
Although
yes,
I just feel so much better about my board now. I didn't even realise Jaws was a horror.
I thought it was just like a fun
dear
beach
Lord.
episode, you know?
Yeah, the classic. You know, there's the red in the water from the... Oh, yeah, the blood. The
I
screaming.
thought Jaws was just reverse Moby Dick.
I'm
I'm
trying
trying
to
to
puzzle
pass
that
that
one.
out.
I'm like, okay,
Trying to figure
so
that out.
Jaws is...
I think it's like
Is there,
regular
like-
Moby Dick, isn't it?
Well, is it, like, are you saying that Jaws has been hunting down one person for a while,
Yeah.
and that person is their white whale?
Yes. The person in Jaws is the white whale.
I gotta
It's
say,
a
you've
hell of a
lost me a
take from
little
someone
bit
who's not
here.
seen the film.
Yeah. you've lost me.
It's
You've
alright,
lost
I'm
me.
on your side, Pex. Yeah, Jaws,
Thanks, Seth.
Moby Dick in
I'm on your
reverse.
side too.
It is a very good movie, though, but it is definitely a horror.
Cool. Well, I'll look forward to Jaws being picked later. I forgot that it's actually me now, so I need to actually get a wiggle on and make my next pick. Oh, there are some good ones here, but I am going to have to go for a truly terrifying monster from something that absolutely is a horror film, because I mean it has to be a horror film if it's got monsters in the title, right?
Monsters Inc.
Monsters, Inc.
Everyone goes straight to Monsters Inc. But honestly, do people not remember the tar monster?
I have no idea what you're talking
No.
about.
The tar monster?
are you talking about Fern Gully?
No, I've just sent it in the WhatsApp. That's the tar monster from Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Ah, now I see.
Oh, good. Ferngully is a good call, though, Jay.
Fern Gully is a great call.
The tar monster, aka... Well, who's it? Stephen Curry?
Yes, but I can't remember the name of the character now.
But the VA work by Stephen Curry is iconic. So
Yeah,
bloody
and
good.
the VA work in
monster.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed is also iconic. Look at that terrifying monstrosity. Terrorizing the
beautiful.
people of New York, I assume, probably.
So
It
oopy
looks
goopy.
like a big city street, and I always assume it's somewhere in America, so I'm going to guess New York.
Scooby-Doo 2 is the live-action one where Velma gets like a hot makeover, right?
That's the one where she ends up in the latex catsuit.
Yeah, that's
Good
the one.
times. Good times.
That's the hot makeover.
And that is what Jay and Ollie are going to be thinking about for the rest of the evening.
Damn straight.
As should we all.
I believe that means it's on
Yeah, I'm
to
not even
Seth.
arguing with that one.
Okay. Right, well.
No, me neither.
It's
Scooby-Doo is
approved by
monsters for
Jay. Oh my
babies.
goodness.
Approved by Jay.
Shocking.
Well, yeah, the whole point of all the characters in the Scooby-Doo ones is they're like scary costumes, and it's kind of horror. I mean, it's horror for kids, but it's horror.
Sweet. I have my first Jay approved horror movie monster.
Shocking.
My next pick. I'm wondering if anybody has seen the movie. It was a 2025 film. A horror film, of course. And it was called Straw. Has anybody seen the movie Straw?
I
I
haven't.
have not seen the movie Straw.
It is
This
about
means Seth can say whatever they want.
a single mum with a very ill daughter, and they can't afford like lunch for school. She goes and she's like trying to get money for her kid to eat lunch at school, and she's got a really terrible job and a terrible boss, and everything just goes badly all day, right? And she goes to the bank to get money, and they're like, sorry, you can't because of reasons. And so she goes back to work and accidentally gets involved in kind of like a hostage situation where someone robs the place that she works. And in the struggle from the assault there, she accidentally shoots someone. She kills one of the robbers, and then she's, this is going to be very spoiler heavy for the movie Straw.
Yeah. If you're planning on
probably
watching
should have
this,
said that
maybe...
up front.
Yeah.
But it's still a good movie. It's still good. Anyway, she like tries to get out of this situation. She goes to the bank, but she still has the gun. She's trying to get her ID out of this bank, and she accidentally pulls out the gun. She's a bit like scattered at this whole point, and everyone thinks that she's holding up the bank. And so at this point,
no, that's not fair.
she's holding up a bank, and she's desperately trying to tell people she's not holding up the bank. She just wants her money, not everyone else's money, just the money for her kid to have lunch at school. And police obviously involved, hostage negotiators, all this stuff, right? And so this is why I am picking the horror movie monster that is other people, okay? Like, this situation could have been fixed in so many different ways just by anyone showing any shred of empathy. And so I think that classes as a horror monster in its own right. Other people as a collective, a society, if you will. That is the true horror. And this film really highlights it.
I'm on board. I'm on Seth's side.
Thanks for
I mean,
backing me up
this
there,
is
Bex.
sounding more like a crime thriller / drama, maybe, than an actual horror.
I was pretty horrified.
I'm going to bring us back to Nobby67's.
Thanks, Nobby67.
I think horror is a catch-all we use. It's a whole series of different types of movies. And Dingus McGinty did say, "Oh man, definitely." So I think this must be a horror.
Ollie, if you veto this, I will back you. If you don't veto this, I never said anything. I'm just going to let it slide. But if you veto this, I have your back. You have my vote.
I'm sorry, Seth. I'm sorry. I can't.
Oh,
That's too.
what?
That's a horror movie monster. That's a horror movie. That's just
It's a horror movie.
People are
Confirmed.
nasty. That's just a people are mean. I feel
I will
that's.
say this to our listeners, though. Society
Less
is the true
monster.
monster. I will agree with Seth on that.
I
However,
will quote some Jean-Paul
Seth, was that a
Sartre,
vote
hell
in-
is other people. And in
Was
this
that a vote in
case,
Seth's
right now,
favour there,
it's
Jay?
Ollie calling me out.
Ollie
it's meta. I like
Quite
it.
Drafty.
This isn't a movie. I was willing to play the game and only pick things from movies. Okay, well, okay. You're not gonna like the rest of my list. Here we go. Spy Kids. The thumbs. Those things are
100%,
horrifying.
They are horrifying.
That gave me nightmares as a child. Do I remember anything about the plot of Spy Kids? Do I remember anything about the characters in Spy Kids? No, but I do still have nightmares about the thumbs.
Yeah, but do you remember how a thumb is created? Specifically looking at, I think it's, Spy Kids 2, The Island of Monsters.
Oh,
They
thank goodness it's
literally
called
just
the
said
Island
they
of Monsters.
Can't
That
remember
works in
the
my
name.
favour.
Well, there's this evil, I don't know, guy. I want to say he's like, I can't remember if it's like a magic power or something like that, but he basically gets a Play-Doh waxwork of some of the adult spies, and voodoo doll style, he mushes them up, which is what turns them into a fum-fum. And when they're singing, it's actually them saying, "Save me, help me," backwards.
Yeah, it is as well, actually. And it's Alan Cumming, isn't it? Playing the evil guy.
Yeah.
You
In
know,
like the fanciest suit you've ever seen.
this might be my safest pick. The thumbs are horrifying, and you have only added to their horrifying nature.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with
and
this.
I'm
Yep,
looking
Seth,
forward to
I'm
my
on
lack
your
of sleep
side.
tonight. Thanks, guys.
Island of Monsters? I might need to check that out. There is also a Spy Kids Island of Monsters, but...
I think it's meant to be like an island of like essentially kids' entertainment, because he's like a kids' entertainment guy who's got
And
these
so
like
for my next
fun,
pick,
wacky
kids
creatures
entertainers.
who are actually like evil.
No, sorry, I've got it wrong. The Fum-Fums are not the same as the things I was just talking about. What were they called?
I can't remember, but they're
As soon
like
as you can
weird,
tell me,
twisted
I can
people,
put it on
right?
my list for pick 3.
The Flugels or something. But that was in the like the Thumb Thumbs were
Oh,
also.
Floops Fooglies.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right. Well, my list is rapidly falling apart here. I'll confess I came into this with 4 very tenuous picks, and now I'm down to 3 very tenuous picks and an empty slot, so we'll see. Let's see what you make of this one, guys. The character Joe Fox from You've Got Mail. He's
I
Don't even know
think
what
I've
that
watched
is.
that one either.
great. I'm going to lie about it. No. Joe Fox is intended to be the male... what's it called? The male lead in this somewhat romantic story. That was the intent, perhaps, of this. You've Got Mail was a modern retelling of the movie The Shop Around the Corner, which was admittedly the original was a romantic comedy. I'm going to argue that You've Got Mail is a horror because they meet through AOL chat, I believe. They talk online and they're anonymous.
I already think this is horrifying.
And Joe Fox is the owner / CEO / whatever of a very large book company called Fox Books. And they are very excited to crush their competition and become what is essentially Amazon. I will now be referring to them as Amazon for the remainder of this rant.
Wonderful.
Our main character runs a little bookshop called The Shop Around the Corner. Nice nod to the OG. And they get put out of business by Fox over the course of this movie. The person that he has been chatting with, our primary character, falls in love with this person, with Joe Fox. And Joe Fox finds out before she does. Figures out who she is. And then sets up a date, shows up to the date anonymously, and doesn't tell her that it's him. And just generally
Picky.
gaslights, manipulates her for the whole movie until the very end, where he very dramatically reveals this in a very public setting with a very dramatic display, to which she's
Ick.
probably feeling incredibly unsafe.
Yeah, that sounds.
He is a monster.
That sounds pretty bad.
This is not romance. This is psychological manipulation and deeply uncomfortable to watch. I watched it just before Christmas last year because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch some cozy movies that I remember from watching when I was a kid. And I was watching it, like, every time something happened, I was like, oh god, this guy's horrible. Every time.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like that quite recent movie that's like the sci-fi quote-unquote romance. I think it's called like Passengers. That's the one. Oh my god, that movie is horrifying. Like, similarly, some guy is basically lying to this woman the whole thing. But yeah, no, I'm fully on board that this is a horror. That sounds awful.
Yeah, no, I'm on your side.
Thanks for being on my side,
Damn
Pex.
it, Pex.
Jay, anything to add?
Nope. I will let the listeners do their own Googling and research, and I rest my case.
I will, at the end, I will provide a video for the show notes that it really shows why You've Got Mail is a horror movie. I'll send you a trailer. We'll put it in the show notes.
Listeners, before you get
Please
to that,
do.
just do a Google image and let me know what your first impressions are, Rorschach test style, of some of the pictures that come up. Just some thoughts, some impressions, perhaps even feelings.
You could argue, though,
Tom
that
Hanks
it's
doesn't
much in
normally
the
bring
same...
up horror, but he does play a
That's
pretty
true.
horrific monster in this.
But, like, it's the same as Passengers. It's framed as a romance, but the subtext is horror.
So we are on to my third round pick. Before I get there, I'm curious to see from the group, like, what do you think are the kind of classic spooky, scary character types, right? So I would say, you've got your, like, categories of ghosts. They're kind of like the classic. You've got your vampires. They're like a classic horror, scary kind of character and whatnot. And you've got your, like, were creatures, the things that you turn into in the night. And that's why my third round pick is the were rabbit.
I knew you were going to do this.
yes!
I knew you were going to do this.
I'm
It's a
on
good
board.
pick.
Hell yeah. 100%.
I quit.
No questions
I
asked.
resign. I'm done.
I love Wallace and Gromit so much. I'm surprised you didn't go for Feathers McGraw.
No,
But
I feel like
Rabbit's still
the
excellent.
scariest of all characters ever to have come up in Wallace and Gromit is the were rabbit. Because I remember watching this film with my sister, and I remember her being slightly scared of the were rabbit. So
I'll take it.
she was quite a bit younger at the time.
I did like Wallace and Gromit.
When you
Curse
say
the Were
quite a
Rabbit, I will
bit
admit.
younger, like
is a great
last
film.
year or
2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, she was in her 20s, so...
checks out.
Yes, I mean, obviously, ultimate horror movie monster. Can't believe the rest of you didn't think of it.
I know, I feel terrible.
Were rabbit.
Should have been
innit?
first on my list.
I just want to
Everybody
point
knows
out,
that's the wettest monster out there.
you managed to cycle through a few decent categories of classic movie monsters. Seth, what is going on with your list?
I just don't watch horror movies. Ultimately, I mean, other than the ones that I've picked, of course.
Yeah.
It's not a genre that I have
I'm
much
just kind
time
of waiting.
I've also
for, like,
picked horror movies. Also, not all ones that I've seen, but horror movies nonetheless.
I'm waiting for your last pick, Seth, to be something along the lines of a character in a movie drank tea. Tea is usually made by cults. Cults, therefore, are horrific because it's a pyramid scheme and people, lose their lives over it. So tea is the main villain, and that being like a whole exposition arc. That's what I'm waiting for at this point.
Just you wait.
Just before we move on to Jay's third round pick, I will also say that my final round pick, I'm hoping to appease Jay with a little bit. So we'll see how that one goes down. But we're on to Jay's third round pick.
I am actually looking forward to my fourth round pick, just because I think that there will be a collective head in hands for what I'm going to say. So, I'm kind of getting in these points early before it comes back to bite me in the ass. I'd like to introduce to you guys the concept of a movie. We have a land of snow and ice, free people up a mountain, a perilous journey. Our enemies, the wolves. I am, of course, talking about Frozen. Am I talking about Disney's Frozen? No, but if you did think it was that, I mean, they share basically the same storyline. No, I am talking about the horror film by the title Frozen. The storyline of which is some skiers and some snowboarders, there are 3 of them, get trapped on a ski lift over the weekend and have to survive, first of all, exposure, because it's freezing up on the mountain. There's a snowstorm that comes in. And at one point, one of them tries to make a jump for it and hopes that the snow will be deep enough that they don't immediately break their legs. I mean, spoiler alert, it doesn't go well for them.
They immediately
and then
break
wolves
their
show
legs.
up. So
Nice.
not only do they have to escape the ski lift, they also have to figure out a way to get past the wolves, because this pack of wolves are just present for the second half of the movie and provide this. Even if you escape being like 20 meters off the ground, they're gonna get you.
Okay, I do enjoy that genre of horror movie where it's people put in a capital A situation.
You know the one where it's the guy stuck in the desert and he's in like the he's got his leg stuck under a rock.
127 hours.
That's the one. It watches like that. It's a very long, arguably dry movie, but it's one of those quiet horrors that by the end of it you just feel disturbed.
Nice. I'm a fan of that.
What I'm hearing is that Frozen is a horror movie, and this is good for my... I'll make some notes. Hold on. I'm still coming up with my fourth round
I
pick.
agree. That will help.
Oh dear.
But
No, I've
the
not watched
actual
that. I'm
horror
going to put that
movie
on my
Frozen-
list. That looks real good.
That was my first introduction to Frozen. My parents got it as like one of those. Oh god, what was the movie service that came from Blockbuster? It was like Love Movies or something like that. We got one in the post, and it was, oh, I'm sure this will be a lovely family film. And then parent turns
no.
off the TV at the end and goes, well, kids, if anybody needs a chat,
Oh, we did that for Banshees of Inverness. Did not realise that was going to be as depressing as it was.
I just like the idea that they might have thought they were getting Disney's Frozen and then instead forced you to sit through that.
I'm pretty sure this
You turn
came
it on.
before Disney's
This
Frozen.
isn't-
They just
This
turned
isn't
to you.
animated.
Let it go, kids. Let it go.
Yeah, Frozen the horror film was 2010. Frozen the Disney film was 2013.
Inspired
3
by,
years
perhaps.
later. Maybe.
Well, they both share a theme of wolves are dangerous, so, I mean...
Which is
I am
ironically the opposite of the Premier League.
genuinely trying to... So rude. I'm trying to remember where the wolves come in Frozen.
they're on
not
the sled, and they're... I think it's when they're trying to get to the Swedish chap's hut, or they're just left it, or something like that, but... They end up going over a cliff and the sled gets blown to smithereens, and I think that's when they meet
God.
Olaf.
I haven't watched Frozen in a very long time.
It's quite a scary sequence, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. It's quite
More
scary.
horror for kids.
Horrifying, if you will.
Well, on that horrific note, Ollie.
Let's get back to them wet puppets. My next wet puppet is going to be the specifically the facehugger morph of xenomorphs from the
Yeah,
Alien
nice.
franchise. The big alien, the like full-size adult xenomorph, I love them. They're wonderful, but they are not wet. They are drippy, and that is a different thing. They have too much saliva. They are not inherently...
Yeah, no, we ain't talking
Icky.
about no puppets with drip. We're talking about wet puppets.
I'm just
Yeah, you get me,
imagining,
Pex.
I'm imagining the xenomorph just with a big gold chain on right now.
That would be so fucking cool. Please. If anybody has a xenomorph figurine of any variety, please put a chain on that baby. Please send me a photo. Please.
It's just a movie where the Wayland Corporation realised they're not street enough.
Oh, they would as well, wouldn't they? Oh no. Oh dear. I do like that the Alien movies also do have the subplot of, oh, companies are evil. Like, yeah, the alien is bad, the company is worse. Because,
This is true.
like, yeah, you're trying to get rid of the alien and the company is like, you can't do that. We could get profit out of it. And you're like, the whole ship is dead. Everyone here has died. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
What you're telling me
Please.
is that the real monster is capitalism.
Yeah, it actually, that
good
movie
for my
actually is
notes.
the real monster is capitalism. Less the first movie, definitely Alien Isolation the game. Also, Alien Isolation the game is fucking incredibly good. It made me scared of violins for weeks. It was great.
What was that? Was that foreshadowing? The only way to find out is to listen to the fourth round, starting with Ollie. What a shit link.
Wow, what a polite way to say, shut the fuck up, Ollie, and carry on with your list. Come on. My final pick of the horror movie monsters draft is Jason Voorhees from the movie franchise Friday the 13th, but very specifically from part 6 onwards. once he gets resurrected from the lake. Before that, not a wet puppet. After he gets resurrected from the lake, that's a wet puppet, man.
What film?
So Friday the 13th with, the hockey mask guy. But
yes, sure.
Specifically from part 6 onwards, when he basically in part 5, or I think, gets killed and thrown in a lake. And then in part 6, some lady is like, I've got a great idea, and resurrects Jason from the lake. So he goes from being a regular evil guy to a resurrected zombie wet because he's from a lake evil guy.
No, I quite like your kind of theming going on here. We could have Big Bird on a perch. No, not wet.
No, not scary enough.
Basil
not wet.
Brush on a beach. Sandy, not wet.
Not
Got
wet.
drip though. Still not wet.
Does he though? Does he have drip? Really? I don't recall him having drip.
Who wouldn't go there for Basil, eh?
Boom, boom.
You're saying you're one of those cousin Mortimer types. You want a bang bang instead.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here anymore.
Jay and Ollie have left the room. Seth and Pex are the last two remaining.
Speaking of horror movies, I genuinely cannot watch that series.
Jay,
It's
you
so
don't
cringe.
get to go anywhere. You've still got to make your fourth pick.
Oh, fine. Now, I do want to say that I do actually have a fourth animal that I could round out the animals theme for my draft. I'm not going to choose an animal. I'm gonna spoil my theme because I really want this on the board, I'll be honest. My fourth round pick is the wind.
From the wind in the willows.
It is the wind specifically from a horror movie called The Happening. Has anyone seen The Happening or is aware of The Happening?
I'm aware of The Happening. It's one of the ones that I've got in my book, in my movie bookcase that I need to watch, but haven't watched yet.
So, funny story about horror movies and horror TV shows and episodes of TV that's a horror. A lot of horror films, to try and kind of put the audience somewhat at ease before they leave the theatre, and same goes for TV shows as well, they will kind of peak up to a very scary part. And many horrors will then have some way of wrapping up the story that if the audience member makes it to the very end, there might be a cliffhanger or a final, oh my god, horror moment. But generally they try to wrap up the story in such a way that you get closure on some of the horrific things that have happened during the course of the film. And in that way, it doesn't linger on the mind so much as kind of like oh my god, I feel horrible about this. Which is why specifically shows like Doctor Who will have very scary episodes like The Weeping Angels or The Empty Child. And they are much more scary to audiences because a lot of them get so scared that they quit halfway through the episode and they never get to those ending scenes that are supposed to put you back at ease and to feel okay. The Happening is very much that for me, that there is one particular scene, I think it's not even 10 minutes from the end of the film, that for anyone who's not familiar with The Happening, the idea of the story is that the plants and trees and fauna fight back against humanity and they put some sort of pollen in the air that makes you off yourself. And all that you see in the film, you can't see the pollen, it's just wind that's blowing it in your direction, and then suddenly they all stop and they find various ways to kill themselves. And there's one horrific scene where a large group of survivors get caught in a field and you see like 3 different gusts of wind coming from different directions, and there's this one soldier with a gun and he starts just yelling, "My gun is my friend," or something along those lines, like over and over and over again, and all you can hear is gunshots, and it all happens off screen, but the mental imagery of what they must all be doing is just absolutely horrific. And I'd been so rattled by this film up to this point that I was like, I can't take any more. I rage quit the film, or I don't know, anxiety quit the film. And because of that, I never saw the everything's all right ending scene. And for years, I'd have these like moments where you're just like quietly in a car or walking somewhere, and the film would pop back into my head, and I'd just feel like I'd have all the hair stands up on the back of my neck. It's a kind of the goose pimples on your back. It's a horrible feeling. And eventually I did go back and was like, I have to finish what I started. And like 5-10 minutes of footage later, and I was like, oh, Oh, okay.
Oh.
They made it in the end and everybody was okay. Shit.
Oh, boo, boring. That's sad. Okay, when I watch this movie, I'll be sure to stop it just after that point and be like, cool, I'm done.
Yeah, I think they do manage to drop in one final moment where, like, the wind blows some wind chimes, and I think a kid stops in the garden, and it's kind of like a moment. But overall, yeah, the main characters, or at least some of them, I think, make it through to the end.
Oh, boo! Kill them all. Let the plants win.
The women and the children too.
The women and the children too.
It really is about how movies end, though, isn't it? Like, a good ending to a movie can leave you feeling so unsettled. Or...
I mean, people are still talking about the ending of The Thing because it's so, like, open-ended.
We've done Jay's 4th round pick, which means it's now time for my 4th round pick. And as I said, I'm going to use this pick to try and appease Jay as best as possible. So I'm going to start by posting the image of my pick once again in the chat.
Right.
I can't see it because my phone died, but I'll take you guys over for it.
No.
Okay.
So my
That's a man.
4th round pick is
That's
James
just
Cameron.
For what
He
he
is a
did.
monster who, through horror films like Avatar and others, cleared the way for lazy storytelling and shite mechanics in games in favour of just graphical quality. I blame him. He's a monster responsible for some horror films, both directly and indirectly.
Has he ever starred in a film, though? Has he ever been a
Doesn't
character
matter.
in
He's a
film?
monster. He's a monster of horrible films.
Yeah, but... Okay, I'm gonna... If he's ever actually been in front of the camera, I'm not gonna get in your way on this one.
Is there an
Blame him.
appropriate way? Like, is there a way to interpret the phrase "horror movie monsters" that fits James Cameron? I think there is. I'm on your side, Pex.
Thank you.
Oh dear. Can we actually... I think we can probably blame him for the push towards photorealism in movie and TV and video and games and stuff, because, like, I hate that stuff. Like, I understand you're trying to make it look like an actual real picture, but, like, come on, where's the artistic vision? Please. Put it
Pex,
back.
I have some sad news for you. A quick Google has revealed that although, yes, James Cameron has done cameos, they are voice-only cameos. James Cameron has
That's
never,
still
in fact,
a
stood
film.
in front of
the voice of someone is still in a film.
I'm actually with Pex on this one, because otherwise you could say that the other, like, animated, like, The Rock
Yeah, the
isn't, his
puppets
face
ones,
isn't
all of
actually in The Mummy Returns. It's
It's a bold
it's
move to of Jay
CGI.
to side with saying that voice actors aren't actors. That's a bold move.
Yeah.
Oh, fighting
It's a real
words,
bold
Jay.
move in a podcast as well.
I've
You know
never
what,
featured in a podcast because I can't be visually seen. You know?
Yeah, I don't think any of us are actually in this, you know.
No,
I do
we
want
aren't
to take a
real.
moment to fanboy for James Cameron. I do want to thank him for his developments in movie and film. He's a wonderful director and has really pushed the bucket out on what we can do with cameras. And yeah, I think he's great, even if everything else that you've said may also be true. One of us has got to be nice about the guy. I mean, he's great, but also fair enough.
Look, we don't want any sitting on the fence on this podcast. You need strong opinions on things, even if they're
Yep.
wrong.
Yep, we only hold strong opinions on James Cameron on this podcast. That's the only topic that we all must have a real strong stance on. But you know, it's James
Specifically
Cameron
James
stances.
Cameron.
Oh, does this
I'm
mean
actually
it's me?
not going to argue with this one because, yeah, the whole photorealistic push meant that we got the quote unquote live action Lion King movie, and that is a tragedy, and that makes me feel despair and horror.
I do feel like a little twinge of a gut punch that we got James Cameron as okay, but other people in a quite horrific story not okay. Just,
Hey, Seth, I was on your side.
I mean, I'm on your side, Pex. Don't get me wrong. I agree with your pick. Just feel a bit
Wait.
slighted, just a little for my pick. Right. So for my 4th pick, I came into this podcast with 4 picks. I've been kind of scrambling my brains since you shot down that pick earlier. But you said something really interesting earlier, Jay. You said that there was another movie very similar to one of your picks. In fact, that I believe it's called Frozen, and it has some wolves in it that are pretty horrific. You said I believe it was something along the lines of, now I can't quote you directly because my memory's not that good, but you said, that is quite a scary scene, or words to that effect. And so I'm going for the wolves from Frozen. But not the Frozen Jay was talking about. Disney's Frozen.
Disney's Frozen. You know what? Horror for kids, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm on your side, Seth.
I am also going to allow this.
Oh my god! I just put that up as a joke. I have other picks.
No, because I'm going to post in a video. Oh my god, it's 11 years old now. That I love. And I'm going to put it in the WhatsApp if anyone's curious. For anyone at home, if you go onto YouTube and Google if Frozen was a horror movie, somebody did a fantastic trailer in kind of a Silent Hill style where Frozen is depicted as a horror movie. Using all of the footage from the Frozen movie, they just kind of changed the music a little bit and changed the grayscale on it. But it's amazing.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah,
pop it in the show notes.
We'll pick that one up later. I mean, looking at our various lists, it is quite the thing to try and work out which one of these is the most varied.
Well, I think we've got diverse tastes in horror movies.
We do. This is definitely true.
We didn't end up with zombies. We didn't end up with demons. There are no poltergeist. We didn't end up with sexy vampires, sexy werewolves, or their not-so-sexy equivalents.
Hey now, Edward from Twilight is right there.
I was genuinely thinking of a sexy demon I could have put in this, but I wasn't sure if I could make a case for Good Omens. It's not really a movie, it's a series.
I mean, we don't have anybody on the list who's latex clad. I mean, we talked about it briefly, but come on, we have the whole Underworld series that we've
we've said already, we know what you're going to be picturing for the rest of the night. It's fine. We'll get off the podcast pretty soon, okay?
Yeah, it's the cast of Resident Evil. I mean,
Kermit in a wetsuit would be...
Kermit in a wetsuit.
A wet puppet.
Hell yeah. He would just be so skinny.
That would be Wet Kermit. Surely you'd be so happy.
Wet Kermit, yeah! No! Seth, please! You can't do this to me. I don't have any control over what comes out of my voice box, please.
We've got so many great things for you, Ollie. Right, shall we do honourable mentions quickly before we wrap up?
I've got quite an extensive honourable mentions list because they're all the ones that I wrote down before I decided on my theme being wet puppets.
I was just hoping to hear more wet puppets, to be honest.
So I do have a couple more. I would call these maybe damp puppets. So the Jaws from Jaws, classic. That's a big old puppet, and is he wet? Yeah, but it's not like gooey wet. That's just more like regular wet.
Okay, so you're only here for gooey wet.
I'm mostly here for gooey wet because that's the stuff that you look at and it makes you go,
You want gooey gross. Wet googlies. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Goolies,
exactly.
yeah.
You get me, Pex. So if anybody's heard or watched the movie Tusk, the main character in that gets, over the course of the movie, turned into a walrus, but like it's bad. It's really gross. It's very like body horror awfulness. Like if you try and look up pictures of this on the internet, they are all going to be blurred with safe search because it's icky. The Blob from The Blob, the movie The Blob. That's pretty gooey, pretty good movie.
Like Flubber, is that kind of the vibe?
Yeah, if Flubber was less like fun and bouncy and more like all-consuming.
Right, shall we round up our boards so that the listeners at home can pick their favourites? You can always vote on the Spotify poll for which one you liked the most, for which collection of horror movie monsters you like the most, and you can go into the comments and tell us if any we forgot, perhaps some from, you know, I then tried to think of a film series and realised I don't know any film series. So, you know, that
so
worked
smooth.
well. So, listing off your horror movie monsters, Seth.
We had Edward from Twilight. We had the Thumbs from Spy Kids. We had Joe Fox of You've Got Mail fame. And finally, we had the wolves from Frozen. Jay approved.
My Pex picks were Mateus of Akkad from The Mummy Returns, the Tar Monster from Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, also Jay approved, the Were-Rabbit from Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and James Cameron for Avatar. Jay.
First prosperity, James Cameron was not Jay approved. We love James Cameron on this podcast. My picks were Anaconda from Anaconda, Giant Spiders from Eight-Legged Freaks, Wolves from Frozen, not the Disney one, and The Wind from The Happening.
And Ollie.
We've got The Thing from The Thing, Seth Brundle, aka Brundlefly from the movie The Fly, the Facehugger variety of xenomorphs from the Alien franchise, and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, specifically Part 6 and after that.
There you go. Those are some wet puppets.
Puppets?
We now need to set up the next week's episode, which I believe this time was chosen for us by Jay.
If I remember what I picked, which I do. Next week, we will be doing an art draft. So this is going to be a slightly different one because, as you know, this is a audio podcast. And I thought it'd be really fun if we could try and describe to you, the listeners, what we're showing each other in terms of art picks. I'm not putting a limit on this one. If it's art and we're going to describe it to each other, I think it's going to be hilarious. I may even try to draw something.
Maybe we share the pictures before we release the episode.
Well, there we go.
Oh my word, yes, please.
Maybe
that'd be so funny.
maybe this is a need for one of us to become social media manager because I don't have any socials for us yet.
We're not social people. We sit alone in the dark and we make content for you people.
Well, that means that by next week's episode, we will have some kind of a social. And I will have nominated one of the other three to do it.
Please no. I can barely manage my own
Who runs
socials.
that next week. So, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of the Quite Drafty Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please do all the usual things. Subscribe, like, comment, tell a friend, tell your mum. I'm sure she's going to want to listen to us. Sure. And if you didn't like it, please write a detailed review and mail it to the Daily Telegraph, telling them how much you hated our podcast and we're just a bunch of woke nonsense.
I'd like to be on the news.
Hey, look, it's not that hard. You just have to do something really awful.
Please, nothing to do with James Cameron. Just please leave him out of this.
I'd like to see our episodes reviewed in a newspaper under the movie section, specifically horror movies.
Yes. Yeah, if you can specifically put us into the horror movie section, that would be even better.
Top horror podcast here.
Yeah.
I think that's all of my outro stuff. So, have a good week. Bye.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
good
Laters.
Do we want to launch into this cavalcade of shit then?
I'm so ready.
Right.
I'm so ready.
Oh, man, I've not done this in ages. I need to, stretch my greeting muscles.
Hello there.
Yes. Hello there. Hello there.
Do some little bicep curls of hello there's. Yeah.